Welcome to Queernecks, the podcast that puts the yeehaw in y'all means all. I'm your host, Beck.
And I am your host, Dash. Welcome to today's episode. Can you look what I chose?
Chose what? Oh, your hair?
Yeah.
What is the choice?
Shaved it.
Oh, it's very short.
I know. This actually, so that was actually a week ago. So this has grown out a bit.
Wow. I have a haircut Friday.
I bet there might be barbers and stuff in the town where my campus is.
I bet so. If there's students, yeah.
I mean, there were students in Morris and there was no barbers. Not even there weren't black barbers, right? There weren't barbers. Nobody could have a haircut. My boss drove to a town called St. Joseph, which was 2 hours to get haircuts.
Oh, wow.
Stupid.
Sounds like somebody could make some money if they set up a business there.
Why wouldn't you? I think it's because nobody moves here.
You could call it Hair Shack. I'm sorry. Bleep that out. I didn't mean to use your real name. I'm sorry.
We're professionals, people.
Yes. Rue got a haircut.
Yeah.
Did I already show you?
Yeah, but I don't think it was on the show. I think we were just hanging out.
No. Come here, Rue. No.
Yeah, she does this the melting toddler thing. When you pick her up, she's like, "I'm a dead fish."
Well, she goes straight-legged and is stiff as a board is what she does.
Yeah.
But she's funny. I don't think she ever had anybody pick her up and love her before us.
Oh, that's a good point. It was probably bad news when somebody picked her up in her last environment.
Yeah, but she's getting there. She's figuring it out.
Poor baby.
We have a rule. She gets at least 25 kisses per day. That's the rule.
Right.
Because she has a lot of years of no kisses to make up for. And she likes to give the kisses out. So I got to help her stay stocked.
How old did they say she was?
5.
5. Okay.
She'll be 6. Her birthday, according to her paperwork, is September 8th.
How do they know that? I think they just make that up.
I don't know. I mean, she came from a breeder. So if she was registered, which she probably was to be, if they were selling puppies, she was probably registered. And so they would have had to have known the birth date or the approximation. We always said Wenda's birthday was May 4th because she looked like an Ewok and it's Star Wars Day.
I actually chose May for Oscar's birthday as well because he was a baby when we found him and it was July. So I sort of guessed that it was the end of May, the beginning of June.
Yeah. That's how we figure PETA is a late November baby because we found her in June and we think she was about 6 months old when we found her, which would have made her a Christmas dog. So she was probably born in November around Thanksgiving so that she would have been ready for Christmas. So
yeah,
PETA's a Sagittarius.
What are you?
A Virgo.
You're a Virgo. Okay.
100% a
Really?
Virgo. Yeah.
I'm a Libra. So
yes, I know this because you and Shanna Sarah share a birthday.
I don't think it applies.
No.
The things people say about Libras or whatever. I don't know enough to actually, say that, but.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty Virgo-like. I don't know if I believe in it, but I find it interesting, the folklore of it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because any of those predictions or horoscopes, you can make them so general that they'll fit just about any kind of situation, and I just think it's interesting the way that people frame things and say things. And
I absolutely believe that what time of year a person is born could shape their identity, shape their experiences, their personality. I don't think it has anything to do with other planets or stars.
Right.
It's much more likely to be closer to home.
Do you know your Chinese signs?
Oh, I used to.
I'm a water horse.
Yeah. What is it? Is it Chinese zodiac?
Yeah.
Isn't it a little more precise? It's actually what year you were born too?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. The zodiac is so everyone born the year I was born is a horse. And then depending on what year you're born of the horse years, because it's every 12 years, I think, another 12 years you'll have the horse again. And those go in cycles of air, water, fire, and earth.
lunar calendar, 5 elements, compatibility. So this isn't loading. So hopefully this infographic is accurate.
Wait a bit.
Oh, this is kind of hard to read. Okay. I'm a cock. So, uh, is that it? This doesn't say anything about. This one doesn't have like months or anything on it. Just
It doesn't
a
go
year.
by months. Yeah, it goes by years. It
Oh,
doesn't
it's
go by
only
months.
year. Okay.
Yeah. The other big, like, not tarot style or whatever, another belief system is in your blood type in several Asian countries. Your blood type
Whoa.
determines what kind of person. I have the bad one, so I'm the
Okay.
bad boy.
Blood type. Is this? Would you call this zodiac? I don't know what zodiac means.
It'll know what you mean by that.
Yeah. Blood type personality theory, also known as Ketsueki Gata, is a popular belief system in Japan and parts of East Asia that links human blood types to specific personality traits and tempers. Okay.
I'm a B positive, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah. None of these clunky ass Wix websites want to load right now, so keep having to go by infographics. I forget what I am. I knew for because they had to type me for surgery. Well, these all seem like you said, like you could just sort of go like, yeah, this is exactly like me and every other human that draws breath.
Yeah. You will drink water today. Whoa.
How did you know that? Well, I don't know. I mean, speaking of those kinds of, what would you call that? Superstition? I don't know.
Belief systems is the best description I can come up with.
Yeah, especially, I mean, a belief is earnest. So if a person really subscribes to it, it probably does shape part of their worldview, at least, maybe even how they live their life.
There's a lot of girls that I saw a meme the other day that says, my son called and asked me what day and time and where he was born. And I said, you get away from that girl right now.
Yeah. The first like queer relationship I was in, like actually out, the person would admit that we were dating and we would go out together and stuff, was the summer after I graduated high school. It was this girl I met down at the bar in Knoxville, and she came up to visit me at mom and dad's house. She would come up at like midnight and I would sneak her in. She brought that. There's this tome of a book, like you could, stop a runaway car with this thing.
Right.
It about dating with the astrological signs and things. She brought that. It's like a compatibility thing. And I was like, this is the first time I had met anybody who took the signs seriously. Right. And this is the first time I learned about how deep that can go. Like,
yeah.
And that there are like whole ass libraries written about it that people will consult before they make decisions about who to date, and also how quickly queer relationships can get serious. It was a very unnerving experience for me.
Sounds
I kind of feel bad about the way I just kind of ghosted her, stopped talking to her. Did that so many times. Sorry, everybody.
I think we've lost Shanna.
Lost her?
Yeah, she was sitting here and now she's been gone for a while, so I don't know where she's gone.
She taking a nap?
Maybe. That would be likely.
Well, let us know if we need to swear out a search party.
Okay. Have you ever heard the Mitch Hedberg joke? Probably not. It's so random. He's like, you go to these restaurants and you sign up and put your name on the list. And those places, they're like, Dufresne, party of 2. Dufresne, party of 2. And if they never come up, they move on. Jenkins, party of 2, right? And he's like, but what happened to the Dufresnes? Jenkins, search party of 2. That's what we got to do. You can eat when you find the Dufresnes.
Yeah, what happened to them? Well, I guess that segues us into the Wheel of What Have You told us, said that this week is Joke Thief. That can mean whatever we want. So how did you interpret Joke Thief?
I thought that I would go. That's why I have Mitch Hedberg on the brain, because he was my
Mhm.
choice for that this week. He's got some really good ones. The one that I pulled up specifically, hang on, let me pull it up here, is maybe one of his most famous jokes. Queernecks now are joke thief. Here we go. So here's the quote. I bought a donut and they gave me a receipt for the donut. I don't need a receipt for the donut. I give you the money and you give me the donut. End of transaction. We don't need to bring ink and paper into this. I can't imagine a scenario where I'd have to prove that I bought a donut. Hedberg. And then he goes on in the show, he says, so they gave me the receipt and I filed it under D for donut. And you will once in a while see that printed on a donut shop receipt, and it always makes me laugh.
I think one of the signs of like human evolution was receipts becoming optional. Now they ask you, do you want a receipt? No,
Yeah.
thank you. I don't
Yeah.
want a receipt for my overpriced coffee.
Another one of his good jokes was, man, I'm sick of chasing my dreams. I'm just going to meet up with them later.
Oh, man.
He has another
Yeah.
bit about escalators can never really break. They can only become stairs. Sorry, escalators, temporarily stairs. Sorry for the convenience. He is so funny.
Yeah, he really was a bullseye of observational comedy. Like he never missed. And
Yeah.
even when things began to stray into the bizarre and where are we going, his delivery and his command over the audience still kept it. Like the Slappy the Frog, or
Yeah.
is it Smacky the Frog?
Smacky the Frog.
That's when, I was like, okay, you're high. We get it. Like you're not in your right mind, but what are we doing? Where's this going? And he did eventually land it, but that bit is so like not about the gotcha moment that his other bits, his earlier bits are, that I don't even remember how it ends. I remember him doing the hand motion and saying, I wish a frog would come and settle next to me. I remember like how we got to the place and not the place on some of his jokes.
He's by far one of my top 10 comedians, favorite comedians ever, for sure.
Do you think that you could say, like, of a set or special or whatever, what your absolute favorite is? Not the best, not, you don't have to prove that it's better. Just what's your favorite?
Probably that John Panette stuff that I showed you guys the last time we did this bit. The whole raviolis in a nap. That is really, truly my life mantra. Like I'll be doing something and I'll be like, I get some pizza and a nap after this. If I just get through this, I'm going to get, raviolis and a nap, raviolis and a nap, raviolis and a nap. So that is by far one of my favorites.
Didn't he pass away?
Yes, he did. So did Mitch Hedberg. Did you ever see Mitch on that 70s show? He played the little restaurant that they would go to. He played the guy behind the counter in a couple of episodes.
Oh, I only remember Tommy Chong.
Yeah, no, Mitch Hedberg played the guy behind the counter a couple of times in just a couple of episodes. So
cool.
I think they were going to try to make him a character, but he didn't really fit in.
Well, and that's not his. You have to be really reliable to be on a sitcom.
Yeah. Hang on, there's a dog behind me. My dogs like to get right behind me and squeeze between me and the couch. Peta likes to just sit back there, and Rue, I think, is trying to go over there, but she doesn't know what to do now that she's stuck behind me. It's an adorable quandary.
I don't really watch that many stand-up things anymore, but I think maybe the most interesting one I can remember is fairly recent. Well, recent, hell, probably 10 years ago at this point, was Hannah Gadsby's special, Nanette.
Yeah, I have a friend who's obsessed with her.
She's very funny.
She reminds me of myself, kind of.
Yeah, she reminds me a lot of a few of my like more like butcher masculine presenting lesbian friends. Yeah. There's a kind of, I don't know, a way of kind of laughing at the world from that particular perspective. But Nanette is interesting because, and I still don't know if this was really what she was going into it with, but it was her quitting. She made a special out of quitting comedy. Did you see it?
Oh, it's been a while. Yes, but it's been a while.
but then it went viral because it was so fucking good and so
Yeah.
interesting that Netflix offered her another one. It was a few years later, but then she ultimately did it. And so she made one called Douglas, which is the name of her dog. But Nanette was interesting to me because of the way she was funny in it, but she also explained what, like, her reason for quitting or for falling out of love with comedy, the perpetuation of the traumas, right? The way that, like, using comedy, she didn't say this, but using comedy as a coping mechanism is a way of kicking the can down the road on healing from whatever it is that you're coping with, right? Because that's work and it requires the time and the space and the resources to do. And people who are having to use comedy to cope don't have those things. And so she was kind of articulating, like, every time I get up here and do this and I make comedy out of the things that have happened to me, I have to leave out this really important piece that's the actual painful part. And I just loved the way it was art, right? It was narrative, it was performance, and it was, I don't know, super cool to me. But then, and she has a degree in art history, so she was able to, pull in those kinds of things. But there's a moment in Douglas where she talks about how people criticized Nanette. She was like, I didn't really expect for y'all to watch that. It wasn't designed to go viral. And she said, lots of people said I was lecturing. I was being pedantic and whatever. And she goes, that's not a lecture. And then a whiteboard shows up behind her and she pulls out a clicker and she says, this is a lecture. And she begins to give a full on PowerPoint presentation on art history, but also still making it comedy. It's part of the arc of the special. And so, like, that to me, there's a very unassuming, what was I going to say? Scholarly kind of humor to it.
Undertone.
Like, not ivory tower, not actually pedantic, but that's the things that she knows are in there.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I have, as somebody who is a professor, or has been for many years now, I just finally have the title. It helps to be funny. You know what I mean? Like that's a good way to get your point across. That's a good way to break tension a lot of the time. So the funnier you are, the better professor, or at least usually that's what they think. My professor has hilarious as a tag on like 10 of the entries. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Well, and humor and intelligence are not what intelligence isn't the right word. Like, excuse me. These LaCroix are eating me up. I keep burping. It's because I haven't eaten anything of substance. But educated, like someone who is educated, their humor doesn't have to be inaccessible. Nothing is made for everybody, but anything can be made for anybody.
Right.
So that got me thinking about jokes and things from my childhood, like dumb hillbilly redneck jokes. I was putting that tent on the top of the truck. My neighbor, he's a Minnesota version of a redneck. He used a joke that my mom always uses. When we were kids, and I think she probably still does it. He referred to the instructions as the destructions. Like stupid, but also kind of smart,
Yeah.
And it's that wordplay kind of joke that I grew up appreciating from my parents. I talk a lot about how funny my dad is. My mom was funny too. She just didn't have as high a tolerance for the kind of humor that is mocking. Like, we didn't get to make fun of her or ourselves.
Yeah.
But, a lot of Appalachian dialect or dialects, because there's more than one, are heavily idiomatic. There's a lot of idioms, like wordplay, heavy reliance on simile. My dad would always say that he was feeling, so it's laser and kjarn, but did you ever hear that? Laser and kjarn?
No, that's a new one.
Kjarn is carrion, a dead body, a rotting dead body. It's actually a really highfalutin fancy word for it. Carrion is an ACT word. But kjarn, everybody who says kjarn, that's just the regional pronunciation of carrion. And so Dad was saying he was lazier than a corpse.
My dad had some colorful expressions, my adopted dad. One of his best pieces of advice he ever gave me, and I carry this with me today, the only way to get on your feet is to get off your ass. That was his wisdom.
True. Or to move your ass. If you can't stand, scoot. Fuck it.
Yeah. Do something with your ass. That's really all that's important here.
And yeah, so a lot of like the things my dad and my mom, like their jokes were wordplay that I have since discovered are really intelligent. One I always loved, I think my dad's funniest ones, he called Worcestershire sauce, "What's his here sauce?" And the more I thought about it, the funnier it got to me. Because one, no, the joke was, how the fuck do you pronounce Worcestershire sauce? And so, what's his here sauce? And now every time I need Worcestershire sauce, I call it, "What's his here sauce?"
What's his here sauce? On the internet, it has become famous as wash your sister's sauce.
The wash your sister, yeah.
Yeah, she wash your
Well,
sister's
and
sauce.
the craziest part of it is pronounced Worcestershire sauce. That's how you pronounce it. And then we didn't do that. That's not redneck. That's them English people.
Redneck jokes. I had a fondness for Jeff Foxworthy. You might be a redneck jokes when I was a kid. I might have told this story before, but we did it was called Cafe Au Lait. It was, come on, you two, knock it off. It was a talent show it was a fundraiser or something for the choir. And me and my friend Tara got up and read lists of "You Might Be a Redneck" jokes, and we killed. Like, people were like rolling. It was really funny. We really liked Jeff Foxworthy. And then we went to see the Larry the Cable Guy too. So we talked about that last week, I think.
I don't remember him much. So the blue collar comedy, there was 4 of them, right? There was Larry the Cable Guy, Bill Engvall, and Ron. What was the other dude's name?
Ron White. Ron.
Yeah. And Jeff Foxworthy.
Yeah. Ron White had a really funny bit where he got arrested one time, and the cop was like, "What's your name?" And he was like, "Tater Salad."
They call me Tater Salad. And I have my son Tater Tot. The thing I liked about that particular set too was that was where he was talking about being arrested for being drunk in public, and he said, "I was drunk in a bar. They threw me into public. I was where I was supposed to be. I thought I was playing by the rules." I don't remember Bill Engvall that much. There's some quizzes, so I was looking that up, like Redneck trivia is what I was looking for. A lot of it is based on either Jeff Foxworthy or some bullshit like Hillbilly Elegy.
Bill Engvall, he was famous for "Here's Your Sign."
Oh, that's right. Each of them kind of had their own like little quip or line. Yeah. Which I guess is why that worked. That's how you have to be accepted by majority culture if you're a hillbilly. Like, you've got to provide them something they can co-opt. He also would make silly lyrics to instrumental music, especially like theme music on shows. And he always sang these lyrics to the Star Trek theme song that go, "Here we go, we're flying to space. We're there." It's even funnier just to say them, because it's like this really like orchestral swell of music, "Here we go." He would pronounce suave and debonair as suave and debonair.
Have you ever heard what is that guy's name? Henry Cho, I think is his name. He talks about a friend that he had whose name was JB. And when he went to get his driver's license, he put J and then only and then B and then only. And when he got his driver's license, it said Jonely Bonely. And when he watched the same guy, he said he watched Star Trek. He's like, "When they go into Boldly Go?" And he thought Boldly Go was a place that they wanted to go.
There was somebody, he was like a friend of my dad's best friend. He would call idolized salt.
Okay.
And he would say, "Boy, it must be good."
Another one I quote a lot from Henry Cho is he said he was in a car with his friend was an idiot. That was the joke, right? He was like, and the guy was like, "What's that clicking noise?" He's like, "I hear some kind of clicking noise." And it turns out to be the turn signal. So every time you leave your turn signal, I'm like, "What's that clicking noise?" I recommend Henry Cho if you've never listened to any of his stuff.
I've never heard of him, so I'm going to look him up. My mom liked the sort of one-liner jokes. So like, she made me laugh really hard when I was a kid with, how do you catch a unique butterfly?
Unique up on it.
Yeah.
Do you know how you catch a tame butterfly? The tame way.
No. Did I tell you about? I was at the tractor pull, and no, it was the demolition derby.
My favorite.
Yeah, and so they had to like kill time, and so the MC is doing crowd work, and he sucks at it. So he's asking people, "Does anybody know any jokes?" You're really asking for it if you do that, by the way. He deserved this. You don't do that. That's not crowd work. That's not how you MC. You never. So anyway, a child, like little bitty baby voice of a kid, asks for the mic, and he goes, "What kind of shoes does the child snatcher wear?" And the MC was like, and before he could stop him, he goes, "White Vans." And the like ripple of discomfort that went through the crowd was so incredible. It was palpable, and it started the moment, like the word child snatcher coming out of this like 8-year-old boy's mouth, booming over the mic system at the county fair. It was amazing. First of all, I had never heard that joke before, so it was genuinely funny to me. But then the horror of like so many questions. Why does he know that joke? Why does he know?
Because he has a brother, I'm sure, or an uncle.
But why does he know to call them child snatchers? Like that is such a specific phrase.
Right? True that.
This is not funny. This is a serious thing. But Lexington, is it like, I don't know, some town in Kentucky is found a new way to bootlick. Have you heard about these shock gloves? I don't know what the company is. Let me find out. It just says a Lexington, Kentucky. Oh, Compliant Technologies.
That sounds not problematic at all.
Created a device which the company calls the G period L period O period V period E period. The glove. Generated low output voltage emitter. That is some chat GPT bullshit if I ever heard it.
Right.
But they're shock gloves. They're gloves you can put on and shock somebody into submission.
Jesus.
Yeah, ICE has just put in a big order for them. That's, its own thing. But Andy Bashir got up because it's caused an uproar, right? There's the bootlickers who are like, I support this. And I know that those are mostly bots on like the WLEX Facebook pages or whatever. But I was in there commenting like, I bet you'll still support it when they're around your neck because you're a bootlicking fool that ain't got the sense to get in out of the rain.
Right.
So Andy Bashir is like, I don't have a problem with them existing. I just have a problem with them being distributed to like the least trained alleged peacekeeping force. I'm paraphrasing him here, but he did say did talk about their training. I have a problem with them existing. That shouldn't exist. Besides the fact that no human being should be given that kind of control over another human being. There's no scenario in which anybody should need that. Certainly not the people who already have fucking guns and billy clubs and taser guns. They don't need that. That is for control. There's no argument you can give me that's for self-defense.
Right.
So they already don't need to exist in principle. But those are going to be distributed to cops eventually. It's going to be cops who are like, I don't know the percentage, but we know that there's plenty of corrupt cops, and we know that they sell the guns and drugs that they confiscate because they keep getting caught doing it. In Jellicoe, for instance, like that, they were the drug dealers. They also they're the people who pimp out young girls who get, caught for minor offenses or whatever. And anything that gets into the hands of these corrupt cops will be on the streets that day. Child snatching is what made me think of this. How fucking easy is it going to be to kidnap somebody now if you can just grab them and shock them into submission? How much easier is violent crime going to be? So I have a problem with them existing. And I'm fucking tired of finding new things to have problems with.
Right? It's exhausting.
It's so dystopian, these things.
Have you ever read 1984?
Yeah.
That's a wild book. And there are many parallels to where we are today to that book.
Yeah. The thing that people remember from that book most often is the Big Brother thing, which, yeah, but there's a lot of emphasis on the rhetoric of public suasion. Like, for instance, the idea that this manufactured war is constant, the ongoing war between Oceania and East Asia, that it has both always been at war, but also never. There's not a war in Oceania. So, like, they keep this constant war raging to keep their citizens aware of how violent things could get, and like, oh, we're protecting you from that or whatever. Anyway, comedy. Another kind of dumb thing is like dad jokes. I don't understand why we even like those. Like, what do we like about stupid jokes? We call them
Beck jokes in my family because sometimes they're hilarious. Like, what do you call a judge with no thumbs?
I don't know.
Justice fingers.
No, I'm not saying they're not hilarious. I'm asking, why are they hilarious?
I think it goes back to just, a child, not childish, but childlike interest in the absurd, I guess, because that's why farts are funny, because it's part of the human condition. Everybody farts, and everybody, sometimes makes plays on words accidentally. I love it. I love it. Do you know what a pirate's favorite letter is?
R?
No, 'tis the C they love.
Fuck. Yeah, and I think also the fact that they're lowbrow. A lowbrow aesthetic, that's exactly what I was talking about earlier, with things that could be accessible by anyone, but not everyone. Something doesn't have to be for everyone, but something could be for anyone. Like, you can't write something that's every single person is going to like, for instance, is what that means. You can't please everybody, but you could make something that any given person could access.
Do you know why Snoop Dogg carries an umbrella?
For drizzle.
For drizzle. You have to say it as white as possible. For drizzle.
For drizzle, yeah. And you cannot complete the phrase if you are white. Okay, there was a storm last night. I lost 25% of my roof. Oof.
Really?
No.
Oh, got it. Sorry. I was like, oh, why did you lead with that?
No, we just now gotten there.
Yeah. Oof.
What's the darkest joke you've ever heard that you still laughed at?
I read one yesterday. That's funny that you would bring that up. You know why 6 is scared of 7, right?
Okay. 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. Do you know why 9 is afraid of 10?
No.
Because it's right in the middle of 9/11.
Great.
Not the dark joke. I know that's just the most recent dark joke I've heard.
Hi, Ziggy. Ziggy said, I don't approve. There was one on the Smosh show, which I didn't ever actually like. Or not that I didn't like it. I didn't actually watch that kind of stuff. That was before I got into being on the internet, basically. But there was a challenge where, somebody would have to take a drink of water and people would come out and try to make them laugh. And so someone told the darkest joke I think I've ever heard, and I did laugh at it, and then I sort of stopped. So she said, say what you will about pedophiles, but at least they drive slowly through school zones. Yeah.
That's funny.
Everything about it's funny. Like the way it's structured, right? Like you open with say what you will about pedophiles. And then to land it with something that does actually work in the form of the joke. And it is also like even more like, what the fuck? Oh my God.
That's funny.
Oh, I know this isn't a media report, but I watched a movie last night that has been on my radar since it came out. It's called Teeth. Do you know this movie?
No.
It's a horror movie.
I do not have my finger on the pulse of horror movies these days. I can tell you that.
Well, this one's from 2007, and I think that's part of its significance. It's about the vagina dentata.
Vagina what?
Dentata. Toothy vagina.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's a I think a Greek myth. It to me is a spiritual sister to Medusa. And the movie makes that argument as well. Of it's a way that men justified or made sense of, maybe, a fear of the vagina that they didn't understand, or a feeling that it had power over them that was dangerous. And somebody, in the myth, a hero has to conquer the monster. I don't know how it does it. I'm not super versed in the myth. I'm just kind of aware of it as a trope. So the movie, it's a monster movie, but the monster is this girl's vagina. And I liked it, I actually really liked it because it takes that trope, tells it from the perspective of a girl. Like, what does knowledge like that, what does having knowledge like that do to a girl? And they also tell it from the perspective of somebody she's like an abstinence warrior. You remember those like promise people? They would put the rings on.
We talk about them every semester. Yeah, we talk about them.
She's one of those.
Gotcha.
And the movie works for a number of reasons, but one is like, they don't make them like that anymore, because first of all, it's really shredding these men. They're getting their dicks chomped off, and it shows it, because they won't stop raping her. Like 3 of them, in fact, 3 different kinds of invasion, but it's a comedy. It's a dark comedy. And like, I don't think it's that we couldn't make that movie. It's that these days, right? I think it's that no one would try, because me saying that makes it sound like the kind of thing that should not exist. I assure you, it's a good movie, right? It handles the subject matter in a way that works. It doesn't sound possible from our current moment of cinema and rape culture, but this was 20 years ago. That's not to say rape culture has gotten worse or anything like that, or that it has at all changed. But what I'm getting at is this movie made me think that I don't think we've improved in our ability to talk about and sit with the discomfort of rape culture. I think we might have actually gotten a little worse at it.
It is a difficult topic to approach, for sure.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows somebody who has been sexually assaulted, but nobody wants to believe they know rapists, and that doesn't quite mesh out. Like, yeah, you do. Because it doesn't take a quote unquote bad person that you would think of as a bad person to do bad things. People that you think are good can do definitely bad things.
And that's this movie. It does that, right? It shows different ways that assault can occur. It's, there's the one stereotypical version. We see that. But there's also a medical scenario where he doesn't listen to her boundaries. It wasn't sexual at all. It was just an invasion. There was a revenge porn kind of scenario, right? Where she wanted to be with this guy, but then later revoked her consent because she found something out. I loved it. I thought it did a great job. And, it has some blood in it, but it is not gory. It's not even, dicks are chopped off, and I wouldn't call it body horror. It probably is for cis dudes who see that because it's terrifying. But what I mean is it doesn't fit the genre conventions of body horror. It's just horrific,
I am personally pro having dicks cut off, so.
You should watch this movie. I really think you'd like it. And I think that it would give you something to reference when you're teaching this, in like your courses. Listeners, if you think I'm completely wrong or whatever for that you have every right to think that. And I'm aware that it's a problematic text, and I'm aware that it's a difficult topic. I'm aware that the story was told by a man. In a way that's even more interesting to me, but I understand if that's a turnoff for you. Like he's only made like 2 other movies.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like the Obsession guy. Why did you choose to tell this story? I think it sounds really judgmental, and it is, but I'm genuinely interested. Like, I want to know how this happened.
Yeah. Speaking of bad movies, we went to see Super Troopers at the drive-in, and it was so bad we left before it was over.
Oh.
Like, there were so many things they could have. It just the storyline just wasn't funny. The storyline is that the I'll take a liter of cola guy is marrying one of the other cops' brother or sister, and it's just a whole bunch of wedding jokes and dick jokes, and like there were no meows. Well, there was one meow, but I mean it was a throwback to the other movie, but there were no like funny scenes like that, you know what I mean? Because that's what built Super Troopers, the first one, where the little side quests is what made that movie, their pranks and stuff like that, and they didn't do nearly enough of that in this film. It was just a money grab, you can tell.
That was another one that was about a sensitive topic, right? Like that's the kind of movie that the first one, I mean, I don't know if anybody would make it these days, because it was about cops and police corruption. And, they got to make the case that they should be allowed to exist as police. That's the whole point of that. The plot of that movie is, they should be allowed to continue to police. They're trying to save, it's like trying to save the ski lodge or whatever, except they're fucking cops.
Yeah.
And so, these days, if you want to make that argument, I'm like, that's okay. Just go ahead. We don't need you. We have too many of you. But it is still a hysterical movie.
Do you follow We Rate Dogs? Do you know that web page, that Facebook account, We Rate Dogs?
Yeah.
I watched one of their videos the other day, and they were talking about police officers that came up. And the regular guy that does all of their things, I forget what the dog was doing, but he said, unlike the cop, serves some sort of purpose in humanity. And it was like, well, that was a broad statement. You know what I mean? He was clearly anti-police in his statement, which I found super interesting because they like appeal to everyone. Like they're the most unoffensive company that I've ever seen. And yet they're coming out with their anti-cop messaging. I was like, damn. And then there's the election for senator and for governor in Michigan, and I get a lot of Michigan news and commercials and stuff here because I'm so close. There's one of the guys that's running for governor. He basically, the conservative news outlets have called him dangerous. So he's like, yeah, I'm real dangerous. They call me dangerous. And they made that into like a commercial where he says it over and over, and it's supposed to be like a got ya. Like even he says he's dangerous, that kind of thing. And they're like, he wants one of the quotes in it is, he says, when I'm governor, we won't spend $1 of Michigan money to enforce federal immigration policy. I thought it was a like pro this dude message. And then I realized it was like an attack ad, and I was like, what?
Yeah, Fox News keeps like accidentally, I mean, they're like saying shit that's supposed to scare us. And I'm like, that sounds like a pretty reasonable platform. Like they have gone so far right that moderate sounds inflammatory to them. Well, so we didn't do any other homework this week. We didn't do a sponsor. I didn't do a sponsor. Beck actually did her homework, but we just decided we just can't this week. We're sorry. We didn't do it.
We're sorry. Yeah. We'll do some extra credits to make up for it.
Yeah. And, I have some ideas, but that sort of brings up another issue of like the reason why I didn't have time to do it is because I'm starting a new job and I have to prepare a bunch of classes and I have to do a bunch of onboarding that requires me to be in sessions all for a full week. So we're sorry to say we're going to take a couple weeks off. We never have been the kind of production that can record way ahead in the future because it's just us putting shit together with whatever we find. Me having to teach myself how to edit, Beck trying to learn how to format and write, interesting sounding. I can't imagine making a newsletter out of whatever the hell we say, So we're just fucking around and having fun, but that has not lent itself to us being able to get a long runway of things where we can take some time. So I'm not going to do that obnoxious thing. Some shows will do because they still need to meet like their download minimums. We don't have to do that because nobody's paying us, where they'll just drop an old episode into the feed so it looks like you got a new episode, but you didn't. I'm not going to do that because I don't understand why we would do that. But go enjoy some old episodes. I thought it would be cool for us to play some games again, and I can edit those separately and post them on the YouTube, so you can go and watch us do dumb shit on YouTube if you would like, while we're not on the podcast apps for the next couple weeks. So if you would like to know how we got from here to the madness you hear in the next cut, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm gonna post those videos there, and the information on how to subscribe to the YouTube channel is in the episode description, but it's also just Queerneck on YouTube. I forgot to put the S on. I don't know how I did that. What's your personal best? 1.4?
Yeah, 1.4. All right, press space to go forward.
All right, you got it.
Oh, no.
Jesse Owens. Wait a minute. He's doing floor work like a fucking drag queen.
Oh, just -2 meters. Okay, minus 1.2 meters. Everyone is a winner. I don't know about that, QWOP. I don't know about that. I don't think everyone is a winner.
This is like a negative personal best. This is the furthest backwards anybody has gone. Oh, damn. Well, that was humbling.
Indeed.
Thanks, QWOP. They're called ragdoll games, and I don't know if this was the first one. I seriously doubt it, but like I think it popularized it. They're like ones now. I saw some guy playing one that you were supposed to do that, but like jump through the laser beams of a museum security system.
Oh, Jesus.
I can't imagine pulling that off. I can't get the man over the starting line.
Right.
And with 3D controls?
That would take some dexterity that my brain is just not mapped for.
I have tried to play the shoot 'em up games on the Xbox and PlayStation. I tried to, because there's like each of the, what are these called? The ones that you do with your thumbs. Joysticks.
Yeah.
Controls a different kind of movement. And so every time I tried to play Halo, my dude just did this. So he just looked up at the sky and spun around in circles. And he would always wind up in a corner doing that. Just looking up at the sky, twirling. Which maybe is what I would do in a scenario like Halo. I don't know. Fuck. Well, we hope that was a little amusing to listen to or watch, whatever this winds up looking like. If there is a YouTube video, there will be a link in the top of the episode description on whatever listening app you have, or if you're already watching on YouTube, you can just go there. And then I'll post it on the social media. It'll be in the newsletter. You know, you'll have access to it. Or you could just go to our YouTube channel, which is just Queerneck. I don't know why, but I forgot to put the S on it when I made the YouTube channel. We are a well-oiled machine.
We are well-oiled. That is for sure.
Well-oiled.
Like hair that ain't been washed in a week.
Yeah. Oh, God. I want to tell you this story before we leave because it is really cracking me up. My neighbor has a teenager, I think, around that age, who is at the age where he's trying to find ways to look cool, you know?
Right.
And he's a nice kid, right? I'm sure he's great. These are innocuous, you know. He's not gonna. Well, he might hurt himself because the one that I most recently observed is really stupid. But a lot of it revolves around the little golf carts they all drive around here. It's very common for people to drive golf carts. Like the grown-ups do it when they're drunk, and the kids do it way too young. They're like tiny children driving golf carts around. And so I saw him one day over the summer. He was driving it from the passenger seat. He had his foot over
like
to the
mailman.
side, pressing the pedal down, and he was reaching across, steering, and he was sitting on the passenger side. And I was like, okay, whatever. It's the kind of thing you could tell he's doing to see if anybody has noticed, you know? It's like a look at me, look what I can do kind of thing. So whatever. It's stupid, dangerous, but probably not going to like kill anybody. Those things go like 10 miles an hour. But now he has the kids all around here have gotten into the e-bikes. They make these e-bikes that are like, they look like motorcycles, but none of them have like combustion engine powered things here. It's all electric stuff. So it's impossible to look cool doing anything on a fucking e-bike.
Right.
But I saw him the other day. There was a girl with him. She was riding just a regular scooter and he was on an e-bike. Like he was steering it. He had to twist around to grab the handlebars and he had both of his legs on one side. And I was like, in your mind, that looks incredibly cool. But I don't think you realize that what you're doing is riding an e-bike side saddle. That's One of the least cool things I've ever seen.
That's hilarious.
You would never recover that. If you did that shit in the holler, your life would be ruined.
They'd still be talking about that in your obituary.
You'd have some sort of dastardly nickname.
You'd be called Sidesaddle for the rest of your life.
That's right. And he was committed to it too, because they stopped at his house to do something and he got back on it that way and still wrote it that way. I was like, oh God, he thinks it looks, in his mind, he is just. You ever like see a young person and you can feel them in the future cringing about what they're currently doing?
Well, that's a rite of passage though, you know, like we all have things that we remember. Like I remember one time that I was like, I went to school because I almost have always had short hair. And I remember I put like 3 different kinds of stuff in my hair and thought that would make it better. And it was just crunchy as shit. And I was like, look, I put 3 different things in my hair. And my friend was like, yeah.
Crunchy hair is a rite of passage if you're for people our age anyway. I don't know what the kid, there's always something style related.
Yeah.
I remember I was my mom just fucking pressured and bullied me into wearing makeup. And she showed me how, but I was so uninterested that when it came time for me to do it, I couldn't do it properly. And I didn't want to ask her because I didn't want to spend any time with her in general, certainly not about makeup. And so I got this like green eyeshadow. I think it was sparkly. And I painted that shit all the way up to my eyebrows. So it was like, it went from like eyelashes to eyebrow. It wasn't a good look at all. And I think about that a lot. I wish actually there was some photos of it.
We do have, I let Shannon do my makeup like a drag queen's a couple of years ago. And like eye makeup, it looked fabulous.
I want to do that. Like, I think it would be really fun for us to do, like, try a makeup tutorial. They're all over YouTube. Yeah. Try to follow one along. Maybe we'll do that when we come back. You can look forward to that with season 2.5 premiere of Queernecks.
I mean, I already laid the only way to get on your feet is to get off your ass on you. I don't know what kind of other brilliance you're looking for me today. That's all I got, man.
Yeah. Be patient, everybody. If it's at all possible, assume the person is trying their best. And just work with what you got.
Yeah.
And we're all going to get there. Well, everybody, be good at it. And say hi to your mom and them.
Bye.